Hey there, how are you? How's it going? Dr. Dave, and this is Microdose You live and totally unannounced live show right now because, and I don't even know if I'm going to get anybody, but that's okay because you can watch the replay, so it's okay. I made a big mistake earlier today, and I wanted to share this with you. Plus, I want to answer a question, a very commonly asked question. I just got an email from somebody a couple hours ago. It's one of the most commonly asked questions, I guess, so I wanted to answer it as well right here. So welcome. We're live. You can introduce yourself. You can say hello to me. You can ask me a question if you want. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go, but what I want to do is, and right now I'm in a hotel room in Chicago. Okay, I'm meeting up with my brothers. It's one of their birthdays, and we're seeing Dead and Company live at Wrigley Field Friday evening. So that's what I'm doing here. So real quickly, let me go ahead and share the big mistake I made with you earlier today. I went on and I did a video and I recorded it from the Atlanta airport. I recorded a video on if you were to travel with magic mushrooms. If you were, I'm not saying you should, I'm not saying you can, I'm not saying anything about what I do. I'm saying if you were to, here is how to do it. And my phone was lighting up. My email was lighting up with people saying, Dr. Dave, you should remove that video immediately because, and they gave them a lot of different reasons, and I read them carefully. And you know something? They were right. They were right. I should not have put a video up like that, so I took it down. If you were one of the, I don't know, 100 or a couple hundred people saw it, if you were one of the 100 or a couple hundred that saw it, good, congratulations. But I took it down because you guys were right. I should not be talking about anything that is illegal, especially trying to circumvent federal law. I should not have talked about that. When I come on and talk to you about microdosing magic mushrooms, as you notice, I never, ever, ever talk about where to purchase. I never show proof that I have used them. Talking is okay. We're allowed to talk, but you guys were right. We should draw the line at trying to share online a way to travel with something that is considered contraband or a felony. So you guys were right. I immediately took it down, and we're not going to even talk about that anymore. But thanks for having my back. I really appreciate that. Really made me feel so good that you guys had my back and said, "Hey, Dave, take that thing down. That should not be up." And you get a lot of different reasons. So I do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Now, let me go ahead and answer a question I just got by email a couple hours ago. It happens to be perhaps one of the most commonly asked questions. And I've answered it before, but let's answer it now since we're live. And by the way, if you're here live, thank you for being here. Say hello in the little chat box just so I know you're here. We got just a few people here. It's unannounced, so I'm not expecting a lot of people at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I got 0 because I didn't announce anything. But again, anybody that is able to can watch this later as a recorded video. Even though it was live, they can watch it recorded. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. Let me read this question, and I'm going to answer it right now, and then that'll be it. We'll go about our evening, and you guys have fun. I'll have fun doing whatever we're doing. I'm in a hotel room. How can you have fun here? I don't know. Anyway, so hi, Dr. Dave. I've checked I've checked out your YouTube videos. I find myself being able to relate to many of the symptoms you describe prior to beginning microdosing. So in case you're not sure, the symptoms, the problems that I had, the mental health issues that I had were mostly anxiety, depression, definitely PTSD, and the PTSD was from not from my work in the armed forces at all, because I was not in the military, but from a failed marriage. That's absolutely every bit PTSD. It's bad. So those are the 3 main things, and there were more, but those are the 3 main things that I really wanted to try microdosing for. So he says primarily anxiety, worry, and low mood. My question for you is, how long after you started microdosing did you begin to notice an improvement in your mental health? Thanks. And I will omit names because this person really did. He sent me a private email, did not give me permission to use his name. So I will not do that. But I'm going to answer the question. So when I started microdosing, and that was about a little over, let's say 15 months ago, something like that, 15 months ago, I noticed a difference almost right away. I mean, it could have been placebo, but I noticed the difference even from my first dose. But again, I'm not sure if that was the placebo effect is very, very powerful. So I'm not sure if it was placebo effect or not, but it doesn't really matter because I did notice a difference from that day, starting day one. And I think my initial dose I ever tried was about, I think 100 or 125 milligrams. I think 125 milligrams. From that day, I noticed a difference. And it actually got better every time I microdosed, to the point where I was on high blood pressure medication. And probably after about, I don't have this written down exactly in front of me now, but probably after about 1 to 2 months of microdosing, and that's pretty quick, think about it, I was able to completely wean myself off of my blood pressure medication completely. 1 to 2 months. So that's pretty fast. It took me a little longer to, well, I used to take not only an antidepressant, but I took a benzo when I really felt really bad and anxious. I weaned off, I quit that almost immediately too. So after a few weeks, no more benzo at all. Zero benzo. So the only thing I was on was my antidepressant, which was Lexapro. And within about January, about a year or just under a year, I totally weaned myself off of the antidepressant, the Lexapro. So if you're asking how long it took, it didn't happen overnight, but within a year, I was off of all medication, totally zero medication within 1 year. I'd say that's a tremendous success story. And if you can achieve that, that is incredible. However, listening to my story, if you don't get immediate results, don't think it's not working for you. Everybody's different. You've heard that a million times. Everybody is different. And for some, the timeline will be much longer. Like I said, mine started working, I thought right away, but you might not notice anything for a few months. It's possible. I'm just not sure. If you're not sure how to start, I did record a video a pretty short time ago. I want you to look for this video and I want you to watch it because it's very, very important. Probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. And it's called The Absolute Beginner's Guide to Microdosing Magic Mushrooms. I'll say that again because I want you to look for that in my library, The Absolute Beginner's Guide to Microdosing Magic Mushrooms, because if you have a question, I will guarantee it's answered in that video. It's not super long. I think it's 20 minutes or 20 some minutes, which is it's not a super long video, but I talk about things like when you start from scratch, how do you know what your first dose is? How do you know whether it's enough? Excuse me, I gotta get some water. Give me 1 second, guys. See, when I record a video, I have the luxury of being able to edit out a cough or if I need to drink some water. But when you're live, you can't really edit that out. So I'm glad upon check-in, they furnished me with water. So that's a good thing. Because when you talk like this into a camera, without many pauses, your throat gets very dry and scratchy. Trust me on that one. So the video I did called The Absolute Beginner's Guide to Microdosing Magic Mushrooms talks about, again, when you're first starting out, how do you know exactly what dose to start? Do you just pick a number? No, it tells you exactly what to do. It tells you where to go from there, whether you need to lower it, raise it, depending on a bunch of things, what pattern to use. In other words, do you take days off? It talks about everything. So I made that just because I've had so many questions from beginners, people that have never microdosed before, so many questions on how do I do it? Where do I start? Where do I get it? Well, I will tell you this, I never discuss in my videos where to or how to purchase magic mushrooms or psilocybin or anything that is illegal. I do not mention that in any videos. You have to do the research on your own there. That's where I totally draw the line. Also, knowing that this is not medical advice, it's my experience, and I'm sharing my experience with you. It's not to be taken as medical advice. As I always say, it's friend talking to friend, because that's what we are. I feel like we're friends. So I hope, again, I won't mention the person's name because he didn't give me permission. Yeah, it's a he. I just gave that away, but that's, 50%, or was it 49% of the world's population are he. So you're probably not going to be able to guess who it was. I hope that answers your question. And again, not only I hope it answers your question, but anybody else that's ever asked me that question, I wanted to revisit it because it's a lot of people that ask the same question. Hope that helps. Before I log off, before I sign off, if you're here, we've got about 9 people in the room right now watching live. Just give me a quick hi if you can, just so I know somebody's here. Now we got 10. Because the reason is this is totally unannounced. Now, if I were to have done an announced live video, I would have had more like, usually get 20 to 30 to 35 people in the room, and then a bunch of people watch it afterwards. This time, most people will be watching it after the fact. So it's always good to know who's here. You guys are shy. You're not saying anything. At least I don't see anything here. I don't see that anybody's commented at all. It's okay. You don't have to. Unless one time something was wrong with my system and I wasn't getting any messages. So I'm not sure if that's the case now or not. But again, it's all good. I want to, again, if you missed the very beginning of the video, oh, nobody's here. Thank you, nobody. I want to see if you missed the beginning of the video. Hey, Nikki, how are you from Montreal, Canada? You're lucky the shrooms are legal there. Yes, give you a big woot on that one, because in most of the United States, especially where I am, even though I'm in Chicago right now, I live in Utah. In Utah, they're certainly not legal for any purpose whatsoever. So, sometimes we have to do what we have to do to get this medicine. I will tell you this, though, something I started to talk about, where to buy. Please, on almost every video I do, some bot or some spammer or some scammer comes on, and it's always the same kind of message. Like they try to make it sound like they know what they're talking about. Then it says, follow my Instagram handle and you'll get, and we ship quickly, or she ships quickly, or he ships quickly. Please never, ever, ever try to even communicate with that person or whoever it might be, because they are all scammers. Generally, not that I like to generalize, but generally they are Nigerian scammers, I have come to find out. Never, ever, ever purchase something from somebody that you don't know and it has not been proven that they are a legitimate source. I'm telling you, please don't do that. Even though it's on my YouTube channel, don't do it, because I have nothing to do with them. They're not affiliated with me in any way, but they pop on. I try to remove them as soon as I can if I see them, but they try to pop on to almost every video I do, and of course try to get your money by scamming you. So don't do that. Again, so thanks. I'm going to leave you saying that I did put up that video earlier. It was talking about a topic that I probably should not have talked about. So those of you that wrote into me and told me to delete it, get rid of it, take it down, again, I thank you. I listened to you. I ended up agreeing with you. I'm not sure what kind of mood I was in, and I'm not sure what I was thinking, other than I was traveling. So we'll leave it at that. Thanks for having my back. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Talk to you soon. And if you're watching it live, I thank you for being here. Anunkibro. I hope I probably botched the pronunciation. Sorry. My thoughts on trying different strains. Yes, it's a good idea. Be careful. The typical strains, I use Golden Teachers as the, it's kind of like, pretty standard strain of Psilocybe cubensis. Pretty sure that's Psilocybe cubensis, pretty sure. I'd say they're probably mild to moderate. I have been testing something recently, albino penis envy. It is, let me tell you something, it's really, really strong. Even when I microdose it, even if I take a little nibble and microdose, I feel like wham, it's strong. So I'm not going to go over all of the strains. First of all, there are hundreds, if not thousands. I don't claim to be an expert on strains, but what I will say is be careful with what you're using and know about it, because again, if you take something like albino penis envy and you're not prepared for it and you don't know, and you take a regular dose, you're going to feel a lot more than you feel something like golden teachers. I use that as kind of the example. Yeah, it is night and day difference. Nobody is from Liverpool. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being on a similar journey. We're kind of all on the journey together. I got a guy, I think his name is that Dick? Is that Dick Rencliffe that always writes in? I think a lot of times he says, and Dick, if you're watching the replay of this, I think he always says something like, we're all in this together. And it's so true. We're all in this together. And the minute we think we know everything about something, that's a problem, because we're all, naive about certain things. I'm naive about a ton of things with microdosing, but I've done it for long enough, over a year, that I think I can help people that are looking for some answers, and people that are just getting started, and people that are into it a little bit but want certain answers and want some, want some camaraderie and a group of people that we're all together. Anyway, I'll stop now. Thank you for being with me live, and those of you that are watching the replay now, thank you very much. I'm Dr. Dave, Microdose U. Talk to you soon.